The Oilers get the job done against the Ottawa Senators, 3-1, make it 7 straight victories for the Orange and Blue on this Saturday night. Welcome to the Oil Stream Postgame Show right here on Edmonton Sports Talk. Hi, everybody. Tom Gazzola with you. Ben Scrivens standing by. He is our game analyst tonight. Great work by Ben earlier on Game Changers, and a huge thank you to him for stepping up and filling in for Matty Cassian. Tonight, Cass still under the weather, dealing with that cold. And YouTube Trev holding things down back at ESTHQ. And if you're watching us on YouTube, thank you. Smash the thumbs up button, please. And thank you. Hit the subscribe. We continue to build this bad boy up. And then if you're listening to us on your way home from the rink, we appreciate you. If you want to text us, 780-218-9999 as the Oilers get the job done against the Ottawa Senators. Let's get Ben Scrivens in here. Trev, let's get the professor. There he is. Good evening, Ben. All right, buddy. Let's go with your initial thoughts from that game before I go into like the scoring summary and the stats from this one. At times, Ben, I'm going to just say it. I thought it was a little bit quiet, but then it would open up. Both goalies looked like they made some good saves. What'd you see from the Oilers game tonight?
Yeah, I mean, it was a game where you're playing, obviously, kind of a bottom feeder in the East. And you don't want to let those teams hang around too much. A scary team can be a team that's playing a little bit scared.
Yeah.
Goalies are prepared coming in against Edmonton. They know that's a high-scoring team, a tough barn to play in. So you're most often going to get, the other team's top games. And you were seeing that early on in the season. A couple uncharacteristic losses against teams that really shouldn't be hanging with this group. But, the Oilers have shown over the past few years that they are letting fewer and fewer of these opportunities kind of slip by or giving them the opportunity to bite them later on. So, it's a game that I'm sure everybody agrees. It doesn't necessarily matter how exciting it is. You want the 2 points, and as fans of the Oilers, we'll take a kind of grind it out, high shot total game.
Yep.
Over an exciting loss any day.
So what you're saying is I'm complaining essentially about the type of game we saw. That's what you're saying. You're calling me out, Ben. I understand. I get it.
I would never presume to tell you what your opinion should be.
Thank you. Gentlemen, always. Ben Scrivens, our analyst tonight. Huge thank you to Ben for stepping up tonight. All right, let's go into the scoring summary from this one. The Oilers get the job done against the Sens, 7 in a row. And it was Zach Hyman tonight. Lots of offense from Hyman on the power play. His 23rd at 18:08 of the second period would open up the scoring. And like Ben said, you saw the Sens play a scrappy game. Teams when they're struggling, like Ben said, maybe they're playing scared. They don't want to give up much, and they really didn't. And when the Oilers got some opportunities, it seemed like Anton Forsberg was up to the task for sure until Hyman got his 23rd from Bouchard and Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, the tip from Hyman. He continues to roll in the third period, his 24th of the season on a really nice feed from Evan Bouchard. Good outlet pass there on the quick regroup to make it 2-0 at 2:46. And then the Sens would get one back. It was Kelly, his 4th of the year from Brady Tkachuk and Eric Brandstrom for Parker Kelly. He scored at 15:02 to make it 2-1. But then Hyman again, another redirection. Great feed from Connor McDavid. Hyman's 25th, 3rd of the year. Another hat trick for him. McDavid's got 40 assists. Bouchard, the 3-point night. And the Oilers have themselves a 3-1 victory. Shots on goal, 46-31 in favor of Edmonton. So like Ben was alluding to there, a lot of shot volume. The face-off battle, Edmonton handles that one quite well, 59.6% to 40.4%. Edmonton's power play, which kind of hit a snag for a chunk of games there, goes 2 for 3. The PK, 3 for 3. So good night for the special teams, and hits 27-14 in favor of the Sens. Block shots, 15 apiece. And then officially, according to the off-ice officials, giveaways 10 for Edmonton to 8 for Ottawa. Takeaways 10 for the Sens to 5 for the Oil. All right, so they take care of business, Ben. I think we kind of talked about it on Game Changers. Like you don't want bad habits to creep in. You talked about if you're a goalie and if this was a game where a goalie's sitting and waiting, like Stuart Skinner, I presume might have a night like that, but that wasn't the case either. Is that, a testament to the Sens and them not wanting to get embarrassed, or was that the Oilers sitting back? How did you kind of see that?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, the Senators have enough firepower. It's a little bit surprising that they're as bad as they are.
Yeah.
I mean, they've got some bigger guys, bigger name guys. They've got Kachuk, they've got Tarasenko, they've got Giroux, they've got Kubalik. Like they've got a potent power play. So it is a little surprising that they are where they are in the standings. It speaks to probably their habits and the details of their game. But yeah, it shouldn't be a huge surprise that they generated 30 plus shots, had some good looks. Stu played a solid game. I thought the D played quite well in front of him as well. I can think of a couple of key blocks. Darnell off his skate in the third period to keep it 2-0, I believe, at that point. So, kind of chipping in from everybody around. There's a couple. Well, the stat you read about the number of giveaways, the number is a little bit high for what you'd like to see coming from the Oilers. Bush had a bit of a scary one early in the first period that if that converts, it's a different outlook on the game. But I think it was Kachuk who stole it, and he kind of ran himself out of real estate. Both Bush and Ekholm came back well and mitigated the damage. But, overall, again, it was a game. I certainly would call it textbook, but like it's as close to how you wanted that to play out as you could for the Oilers. A 2-goal win. It was safe enough that they could, ride it out late, but close enough that, they kind of had to keep their foot on the gas the whole time.
Ben, you're watching the defense of this Oilers team, and I think we've given them the props they deserve, considering how it's changed over the last month and a half, 2 months, compared to what we were seeing in the first couple of weeks of the season. If you're back there playing in net and you're seeing the Oilers in their own zone, the way they're handling things, what would you make of the way that their D zone coverage and overall execution has developed over the last few weeks here?
Yeah, I mean, it's always comes down to those details. I mean, you don't really have too many teams that are playing like a wildly different system.
Yeah.
So it comes down to stick positions. Are you coming back? Are you taking away passing lanes and forcing teams to have to make the hardest play possible to score against you? It helps when your goalies are making all the saves that they are expected to, all the direct shots, a couple through traffic, and everybody has seemed to just tighten up those details. I would, refer back to my comments in the pregame, which was everybody's taking care of their own job and not getting too distracted by the support roles that they have to play with other guys. I think they're not giving up too many of those high quality looks. The few that they do give up, they're getting more saves on those. And at that point, the only goal that goes in tonight is, a hard nosed, grinded out goal that has to go to a review. I think they made the right call on it. I didn't think it was goaltender interference, but if those are the only goals you're giving up, you're giving yourself a good chance night in and night out.
They get the job done again tonight. 7 in a row for the Oilers. Tom Gazzola, Ben Scrivens with you. YouTube Trev holding things down back at Edmonton Sports Talk HQ. If you want to text us, 780-218-9999. Lots of texts coming in. And then if you're watching us on the YouTube channel, you can talk amongst yourselves or to us as well. And we'll get to as many of those as we can. Barbershop Window via the Nasty Chat reminds me, and rightly so, Tom, after the Sharks game in October, you said, ladies and gentlemen, today is the day the Oilers season has officially ended. Good times. Barbershop Window, I'll have you know that was November 9th. Thank you very much. But you nailed it. I did declare the season over, but they have pulled it out and they've been excellent of late. I think that's 18 wins in their last 24. So like Ben was talking about, the execution details and getting the goaltending as well. All of that's coming together, and kudos to the Oilers for making that happen. A couple in the inbox here. This one says, hey, Tommy, great game all around. Team is maturing before our eyes. Skinner playing much better. I think he still needs some help and was Chris Knobloch fiddling with lines 2 and 4 in the third. That's from Al. So I'm going to go to Ben on this one with Skinner and him playing much better, but Al thinks he still needs some help. Um, Ben, you talked a little bit about Calvin Pickard and him. He's been serviceable. He's been good. He's picked up some wins. He got a couple wins against the Devils. He's been around for a while, and he's a veteran guy, easygoing, chatting with him. They seem to really like him. And then you got a young guy in Olivier Rodrigue that's down on the farm in Bakersfield that's really, getting everyone's attention for the right reasons. When you look at this Oilers goaltending, how would you evaluate it? And what would you tell to someone like Al who texts and says, hey, I still think that Skinner needs a little bit of help to bolster this goaltending tandem?
Yeah, I mean, I think you don't need help until you need help, right? And that's how the Oilers kind of came into this season was, they had committed big money to Jack, and they had big expectations and were expecting a rebound from him. And I feel for him because as much as he didn't give himself much help, he was also playing behind a kind of a fragile group in front of him, right? It's not like he was fighting it and Stu came out gangbuster. As the team goes, oftentimes your goalies go. It's I tend to have an opposing view oftentimes of what is the general consensus, which is you need a goalie to win. You need a goalie to be, maybe not lights out night in and night out, but like without a standout goalie, you're not going to win.
Yep.
I tend to take the opposite track. If you don't have a solid team, a good identity, consistent play in front of the goalie, you can have the top goalies in the league and you're gonna make the playoffs maybe.
Yep. Good point.
But like ask UC Saros in Nashville how that goes when you're perennial Vezina consideration on a team that just can't get much going in front of you. So as far as help, I mean, Stu's playing well enough right now. He's taken a ton of pressure off of management. Kenny Holland, I'm sure he's not racking up his long distance calls too much anymore.
Yeah.
Certainly not in the goaltending position. And Pickard has done a great job. Had a good chat with him at the skills competition. He's a good guy. We played against each other when I was in the minors too. Yes, I mean he's a professional. We were talking about the grind and how much I struggled with it, and how much he actually really enjoys that. And that makes the team better when you have a goalie who's battling and competing. Practice in and practice out, especially when you have Stu as hot as he is. Pix is probably going to get the second half of back-to-backs or whatever the coaching staff thinks is going to be good. But as far as Rodrigue, I think you keep him down there as long as you can. Maybe you give him a couple games, but you don't want to be rolling the dice for sure until the Oilers are like solidly in the playoffs, right?
Yes. Totally.
Now is not the time to be kind of gambling and pulling out your chemistry set. Maybe you do that a little bit later on, a little bit before the trade deadline. See if he falters, then maybe you really do need to find a depth guy, sort of a Martin Jones for Toronto. But at this point, it's one of those things. You can want all of the things that you want, but it's a salary cap. The Oilers are tight against it, and you need to find a willing trading partner, and you're probably not going to find that on too many teams in the Western Conference, and probably nobody who's taking enough salary off of the table to have anything other than like an even trade going across, which then begs the question, why would you do it?
Very good point. And I want to ask you this too, going back to your experiences when you were working your way up from the Marlies into getting that, first showing with the Leafs. What's that like, or what was that experience like for you? Because now we're watching Rodrigue, who's an Edmonton area kid, because it's Sly, his dad is with the organization. And And now
Mhm.
he's gone from a guy that was kind of like, oh, who's the fifth goalie on the training camp roster? Oh, Olivier Rodrigue. When did they draft him? 4 or 5 years ago. He's 23. When he's grabbing people's attention and the fan base is now kind of clamoring for him to get starts, that's one thing. I understand that. But to get that attention and now people are keeping an eye on him. Do you remember when you were starting to build up your rapport and finally were about to be on the verge of getting your first look with the Leafs? And was that added pressure on yourself, or how did you kind of deal with that scenario?
I mean, I think you need the confidence to recognize that you're going to have the opportunity, and that confidence comes from experience and like everything else in life, no matter what industry you're in. In order to get experience, you need experience, and so it's this catch-22 again. You gain that in training camp. You gain that in the exhibition games. The difficult reality, especially for goaltenders, is you're probably not getting a call up without either really poor play,
Yep.
which tends to I'll refer back to my earlier comments, tends to speak to like a struggling team above you. And so, like, is that a great place for you to come up and kind of cut your teeth? I mean, we look at Devin Levi in Buffalo. Kind of everybody had almost like Calder hopes for him, and
I did.
and you have him going down to hone his craft a little bit more, just because you don't want somebody to become too fragile or get complacent and used to losing. So with Rodrigue, he's kind of there until there's a situation that requires him to come up, right? And I don't have any. I won't. I'm not going to jinx anything, but I've alluded to what that situation
Yes.
would be, and we're like that would be a pretty treacherous ground for the Oilers to find themselves in. But that's probably where you're going to see Rodrigue get any sort of looks, unless they're again solidly in the playoffs and it's a little bit before the trade deadline, and they're kind of making their decisions about do we stick with the crew that we have or do we need to supplement. And as far as Rodrigue goes, I mean, the more he plays down there, the easier his transition would be into coming and playing some games up here. You don't want to come up here and sit for 5, 6, 7, 8 games because the coaching staff doesn't quite trust you.
Good point.
Because you don't have any experience. And then when you finally do get it, now you got some of your own mental head games kind of playing, as opposed to you come up, maybe you come up the day of a game, back up, and you might play fairly quickly. But even then, the more games you have under the belt, the better your season is going, the more confidence you can bring into it is only going to help you.
Logic, reason, and from a place of experience from Ben Scrivens, as he is our analyst tonight, filling in for Matty Cassian. 780-218-9999 if you want to get in on the conversation as the Oilers beat the Sens 3-1. Gazzola and YouTube, Trev, with you as well. I'm going to read this one from McCain Fry Guy via the nasty chat. Says, Gazzola, I love you, man, but look, you look like your prom date could take you down. Yeah, I understand, McCain Fry kid. It's the cardigan. It's the cardigan. And then another one. This one says, Tommy, I'm sure you've mentioned this, but the Oilers currently hold down the wild card 2 spot. Yep, the Oilers leapfrogged a couple of teams, and the 7-game heater will do that. It's cold in the press box and in that arena. I wore the cardigan because of that, McCain Fry kid, so I understand. It's all good. All right, let's go to Ben one more time. What?
I think it's a pullover, personally.
It's a cardigan. Do you know where I got this, Ben? When we were in San Jose at Muji.
Okay.
You remember Muji?
That's a throwback.
Yeah.
I don't. I never went shopping. I'm as cheap as they come.
It was right across from our hotel. Anyway, what doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It looks like I get beat up on my prom date, apparently.
I was trying to toss in a Dumb and Dumber throwback in there, but
throw it in there. The listeners and viewers love it.
No, thanks. It's a cardigan.
Well done. There you go. You're getting comfortable, Ben. I like this. All right.
I'm comfortable.
The Oilers off to a 3-game road trip. They're going to be in Chicago on Tuesday night, Ben. I mean, They're looking to make it 8 in a row. That would be the second time this season that they would have an 8-game winning streak. No Connor Bedard for the Chicago Blackhawks. He fractured his jaw. If you're in that coach's room or you're in the locker room in general, what do you think you're hearing from the leadership group and from the coaches going into this road trip starting on Tuesday in Chicago?
Honestly, you're probably not hearing a lot. Things are going well. It's probably just, reiterating process, reiterating habits, positive reinforcement of the things that are going well. Hyman steps up tonight, has a big hat trick. Game before is Connor. We talked about McLeod kind of on a 4-game goal scoring streak or 5-game goal scoring streak, whatever that was. So they're getting, different guys stepping up each night. So maybe there's some reference to that from the coaching staff is, we're doing well, but like when it's your turn, whether you're, an Evander Kane, whether you're a Nuge, whether you're kind of Janmark had a couple big games for the team last year with him and Costin and some of those other depth guys. Yeah. So, it's probably just, keep on doing what we're doing, be ready to capitalize when it's your chance. We need all hands on deck and all of the cliches that everybody rolls their eyes at, but have a lot of truth baked into them.
Touche. Does Connor Brown score anytime soon?
I'm gonna say yeah. I mean, yeah. What's the worst thing that can happen, right? It's already there. That tends to be the sports psychology piece of when you're a goalie. It's like, what's the worst case scenario? If you get scored on the first shot, well, that happens to every goalie. True. And so if it happens, well, the worst thing that happened has happened. I'm still breathing. Now I can almost just relax and keep going. It's hard to break out of slumps. The habitual stuff, that preparation before each shot that I talked about pregame, carries over to the guys ahead. The guys who are out, especially goal scorers. You got to be ready for your opportunity, and that starts in practice and good habits, and really working on your process and being ready for when that opportunity comes. So I'm going to be Mr. Positivity and say yeah.
I love it. Ben, hey, this was great. We had a lot of feedback after the pregame show saying, you got to get Ben on here more. And I said, you know what? I'll talk to him. We'll see what he says. But fantastic stepping in for Cass, and always appreciate you. And we'll talk soon.
Yeah, no problem. I'll to all the people who wrote in, I'll send you that $20 later.
You spend your money wisely, evidently, though.
I need the ROI.
Right? Well done. Ben, great stuff, man. Enjoy your weekend.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. Appreciate it.
There's Ben Scrivens, our game analyst for tonight. Excellent stuff from him, and really appreciate him stepping up in a pinch as Cass still under the weather. That he's had a hospital visit this week, and his voice is slowly coming back. But the big man, hopefully ready to go by Tuesday when the Oilers take on the Chicago Blackhawks. And Belzy is away too, and Gager was tied up. But Ben Scrivens, excellent. Great observations, analysis, and he can always refer back to his experiences as well. So a big thank you to Ben Scrivens. Keep those texts coming in. 780-218-9999. I got a bunch to get to. And YouTube Trev working on some post-game audio and video. If you're driving in your car away from the game, heading home, thanks for listening to us on the TuneIn app or via our audio stream on the Edmonton Sports Talk website. And then if you're watching on the EST YouTube channel, keep that nasty chat going. It looks like it's buzzing along pretty nice. And YouTube Trev, let's go to you. What'd you think from tonight, pal?
Yeah, it was a decent game, Tommy. Not gonna lie, you were a little bit right. It's a little bit of a snooze fest. Not a heck of a whole lot going on, but it's a solid dub. That's 7 in a row. Like that's huge. It's crazy. I'm very, very happy, and so is a nasty chat by the looks of it. So solid night. As far as Connor Brown scoring, I really thought he was going to score tonight, Tom, and he didn't.
They put him out there in the last minute with the net empty. Yeah, they wanted that. Him and Kane, right?
Yeah, they did. And but I think it was in the second period. I don't even know if he wants to score at this point. Like, he's in the middle of the slot. He has a great opportunity to just rip it on net, and he kind of does like this saucer pass. I think he was trying to get Janmark, trying to get his teammates involved, which I get. But man, You don't have a goal. Like, how are you not shooting that? Like, if that was me, I'd be like, let's go. So, I don't know, man. It's not looking good. But all around, I mean, pretty solid game. I think the bottom six on each team's kind of canceled each other out. Nothing really for the Ottawa Senators. I thought, again, McDavid's line is just they're looking so good, Tommy. Like
yeah, they are.
Like Hyman on the boards and McDavid, they're just so good at just stopping and making quick turns, and it's just their playmaking. They're reading each other so well. It's like the one play Nuge almost scored. It would have been a beautiful goal, and it hit the post. So that line was looking really good, as we all expected. And then Draisaitl's line as well has just continued to just look unreal. So solid game.
Nicely done, YouTube, Trev. Good breakdown, and obviously a lot of positivity in oil country right now, and rightly so. Let's go to the nasty chat. I like what I'm seeing in the nasty chat. This says from Jaden, great to see Ben. Yeah, absolutely. Duck Dad says Ben is a solid add to the EST roster. Brent Kellington says it's Ben Scrivens. Dave says that was deep Scrivs, and a lot of people giving a lot of props to Ben. So I knew, I wasn't sure if he would hop on, and it was a really late ask because I thought Cass was going to be good to go. And Cass gave us the word that he's still under the weather. And the other boys, Gager had something tonight, and then Belzy's coaching his team in Vancouver this weekend. So I said maybe Ben would hop on, and always thoughtful and articulate. And yes, indeed, like was mentioned in the nasty chat, a great ad. So hopefully we get to see Ben a little bit more. It'd be good to get him on the Hangout or something like that too. Do a little bit more with us, because I know he started to do some analysis. I think he got some Sportsnet games in a couple of years ago. He was doing some Oilers TV stuff, and just a easy guy. I always got along with him too, actually, Trev, because Ben would, if you said something that he kind of would question, he'd needle you back when he was playing. And him and I kind of we got along really well and continue to do so. And I thought he was excellent tonight. So shout out to Ben. So Russian Spa guy says Scrivens was solid, Tommy. So that is noted. I'll put it in my pocket and leave that for later in case we might need to break glass in case of emergency. And we call upon Ben Scrivens yet again. But excellent stuff from Ben. A huge thank you to him tonight. All right, let's go to Hontorio Momes here. It says, Tommy, the league should be concerned about the Oilers winning without running gun hockey, and two of their supposed to be 6, 91-28, have not even been going. Yeah, that's a good point, Hontorio Momes. Connor Brown's certainly not going. Ben giving the positive vibes to him, and I like that. I like that a lot. And it's kind of been hit or miss for Kane, especially lately. I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt, being banged up. He was going to play, or he missed that one game in LA. And then Lavoie had to come up, and that was an emergency recall. And then in Anaheim, it was Kane who was dealing with what Spec said was potentially a groin issue. And he was a game time decision, ended up playing, scored. So he's not the same impactful Kane like we saw earlier in the season. I think health has a little bit to do with that for sure. All right, let's go to Mike in Thunder Bay. Mike in Thunder Bay, staying up late. Says, not a goal scorer, Zach Hyman, now halfway to 50. Skinner with another goalie battle win. Team didn't let a strong goalie performance against demoralize them. What a statement game as they move into a playoff spot. You love to see it. Buzz in Nebraska is sending us he's got us on. Excellent. And then he's got Kelly Rudy and Elliot Friedman on the other TV. Buzz in Nebraska, thank you very, very much. EA with Monica voice. 7. I don't know if I can do it like Monica from Friends, but I know what you're getting at, EA. 7 in a row for the Oilers. Piss Jug. Old Patty Janik says, hey, Tommy boy, it's PJ. Just drove back from PA tonight. The Blades took on the Raiders. Listening to the Oiler game on the way home. I think Hyman deserves to go to Toronto. It's his hometown. Let's get him there, Oilers Nation. Now, we were talking about this a little bit on, I think, the Nielsen show yesterday, Trev, or Oil Stream, and they unveiled the first 32 players on the All-Star roster, and then they need 12 more players to go, and it's a fan vote. But they also unveiled, like, who you can vote in, right? Like, And I don't think Hyman was on there, was he?
No, I think Hyman was on there. I'm pretty sure.
I saw Draisaitl on there. I wasn't sure. Maybe I'm wrong, but I'm with you, PJ. He's having an all-star caliber season, on pace for 50, and 36 games in, he's got what, 25 goals? So he's having a monster season. He might break his personal best records that he set last year for point totals. Just an absolute beast out there, keeping it simple, working hard, scoring goals the tough way, greasy way. That's why they signed him. Norman, a Combine Texan, says, Texans win, Oilers win, Rockets win, triple threat night tonight. Thank you, Cool Bet. Daddy gets new shoes. Haha, Norman, a Combine. P.S. Don't tell my wife, says Norm. And let's see what, Donnie M is coming at me. What does Donnie M say? He says, TG, I disagree with you and Gage on most goalie reviews. He is big size, wins. Please have Scrivs on. I think slides and glove is not very good to win us a cup, Donnie. Donnie, are you into the sauce? Are you into the sauce? Donnie followed up with, I am very sorry. Very bad rant. Please dismiss. Sorry, Donnie M. Love you guys. Great show tonight. Oh, Donnie. 780-218-9999. And then you can get us in the nasty chat. You see any good ones in the nasty chat? Is everybody behaving? Everyone's in a good mood, aren't they?
Yeah. From the looks of it, everyone seems to be pretty happy tonight, Tommy.
I like it.
Just exporting some videos, so we'll be good
Awesome.
to give those a go in like 2-3 minutes if you'd like.
Sure, we can do that. Absolutely. Let's go around the National Hockey League tonight. 12 games were on the schedule. The Oilers getting it done against the Sens. Earlier today, Philadelphia beats Calgary 3-2 in regulation. That's good for the Oilers. The Panthers double up the Avs 8-4 in afternoon action. The Bruins all over the Lightning 7-3. Minnesota gets the better of Columbus 4-3 in OT. In Montreal, the Habs beat the Rangers 4-3. That one needed a shootout. The Canucks continue to roll. They win at 6-4 in Newark, New Jersey against the Devils. Buffalo 3-1 winners over the Penguins. The Leafs 4-1 win in San Jose tonight. The St. Louis Blues beat the Carolina Hurricanes 2-1 in a shootout. Nashville beats Dallas. Nashville's been playing pretty good this year, and they are slightly ahead of the Oilers as well, now at 45 points, but through 40 games, Edmonton's played 36. And then the VGK, the Golden Knights, who had a bit of a tough stretch the last couple of weeks, they get a 5-2 victory over the New York Islanders, and then we bring it home with the Oilers, 3-1 winners over the Ottawa Senators. This one says, let's go Connor Frown Upside Down Brown. That's from Casey. Trev, you're being requested to be put on camera. Can we do this?
We can if you'd like. I'll have to give me like 2 minutes. Give me like.
All right.
We can. Or do you want to go to Evan Bouchard now and then?
Yeah, we can do that.
Okay, sounds good. Let's do that.
And you know what I want to say?
What's
you
that?
ask and you shall receive.
Oh,
Nasty
like
chat and listeners and viewers. We're going to do that. So let's go to Evan Bouchard here.
It's great. Hasn't been better. Yeah.
Lose your balance or just ate the end boards?
Yeah, I kind of just caught each other's feet, face at the dasher, but yeah.
You guys created a lot tonight. Another 40-plus shot night, but finally got rewarded for it. You had a few tough nights where you weren't able to get the win with 40-plus.
Yeah, normally when you're getting 40-plus shots on there, it's a good night, and things were probably going to end up in your favor. But we just couldn't deteriorate from what we wanted to do, and I don't think we did that, and got rewarded, like you said.
Is there a difference between this team today that handles the frustration better maybe than it did a month ago?
I think so, yeah. I think when you're struggling, you kind of grip your stick a little tighter, but all in all, tonight I thought it was a pretty good effort, and confidence is coming.
Zach Hyman, another hat trick, is up to 25 goals. And just always seems to be improving his game.
Yeah, I don't know. You can't really say too many good things about him. Like, he's all over the ice. Does it defensively. Works down low, puts his body on the line beside the net, and he's getting rewarded for it. And everybody in the room's happy to see it.
Were you specifically looking for Zach tonight, or was it just always
No, he's usually pretty open. That line, there's always usually somebody open. They do a good job of doing that for us, but Zach's getting the puck in good spots, and he's putting it in the net.
There you go. There is Evan Bouchard had a 3-point night, and there is YouTube Trev, look at that greasy Mario mustache.
Yeah, it's that's kind of why I didn't really want to go on camera tonight. It is super greasy. I haven't gave it a trim in like, I don't know, maybe 2 weeks, and it's been bad all day, Tommy. I just I'm not really. It's getting annoying at this point, honestly.
Oh, I love it. Taylor in Indiana said, get Trev on camera. And I said, you know what? Why don't we? There he is. Good to see him holding court back at the EST studios. If you have any texts you want to get in, 780-218-9999. And then if you're watching on our YouTube channel, you can hit us up in the nasty chat. I wanted to get to this one because McCain Frykid earlier said that it looks like my prom date could beat me up, which I don't disagree with. But it's the cardigan that I think drew that criticism. Via the inbox, Jasmine says, as EST's unofficial fashion judger, Tom, the gray cardigan and subtle printed dress shirt with a simple black tie is just fine. Jazzy, approved. Thank you, Jasmine. Much appreciated. This one says, you boys have a peek at the standings yet? That's from Marco. Yes, I did. And the Oilers happen to be sitting in Western Conference wildcard spot number 2 after their 7th straight victory with 41 points. The Blues also at 41 points now through 38 games, Edmonton having played 36. The Kraken also have 41, but they have played 39 total. Arizona at 40 points. They've dropped their last 2 games and have played 37 games. You got the Calgary Flames 2 points back through 39 games at 17, 17, and 5, and they lost today. And actually, Minnesota is not too far behind either at 38 points through 38 games. So it's a bit of a cluster there. And then the Eastern Conference has the same thing. You got Jersey at 44 points. Tampa's at 43 on the outside looking in. Washington, Pittsburgh, and Detroit all have 42 points. And now the Habs, after their win over the Rangers tonight, 39 points. So pretty crowded, both sides of the standings, East and West. But the Oilers are in a wild card spot after I declared the season over on November 9th. Good on the Oilers, and I'm more than happy that I was wrong. I will say that. YouTube Trev, what do we got, buddy?
You okay to dive into Zach Hyman? We'll
If I even said no, would you care? You want to do it? We're going to do it.
Yeah, let's hear from Zach Hyman after his 3-goal performance tonight.
Going in, but do you like your guys' tenacity tonight?
Yeah, I think we're finding ways to win different types of games, right? I think this one was a big special teams game. I think they got a 4-minute power play early there. We obviously scored 2 power play goals, and then I thought Stu was phenomenal, just keeping everything steady and in front of him and giving us a chance to win.
That penalty killing unit. I mean, 3 sets of forwards, and they just kind of roll through them. Obviously the D, but they just seem to be really taking on this role and taking ownership of it.
Yeah, I think that you can see the chemistry between the pairs, right? I think that each of them do something differently that helps them together, right? And one guy's standing, one guy's angling up front, and then on the back end, I think our guys are blocking shots. You saw Cease take one off the head, one off the foot. Doc, Ike, Vinny, Cooley, like Boucher, they're all playing great back there and keeping everything in front. And I think that penalty kill is one of the big reasons why we've gone on a little bit of a run here.
What is it about hockey players that take a puck in the face and shake it off and come right back? Where's the pride to come back?
Oh, I think everybody wants to be out there, right? Like, we're all really competitive. You've got to this level because you're competitive and you want to help the team win, and if you can, you will, right? I think that's kind of in our nature, and yeah, for Cease, I think it's obviously scary to get one off the face, and then I don't know exactly where it hit him, but I'm sure he was, feeling to make sure there's no blood or nothing was broken, and then it was good, and he was back in the game. It's as simple as that, It's yeah, he's a tough guy.
You were piling in the goals this year, Zach. I think you're on pace for like 58 or something right now. I know you guys don't love talking about yourselves, but this is something. The number of goals you're scoring here.
Kind of doing the same thing. Obviously, going in a little bit more this year, and I think how it is just chances. If you're continuing to get the chances, then they're going to go in and. I've said it numerous times. I don't know how many times I can say it, but play with some pretty good players who make plays every single game, and very fortunate to be playing with them and putting it in right now. So it's been good.
That play down pat where you're just leaning against the goalpost on those power plays. You fight your way there, and they're obviously looking for you, right, leaning against the goalpost.
Yeah. Connor made a great play there, right? But just trying to find an angle to see if if he's going to shoot it, maybe I can be a like basketball backboard and give him an extra 2 feet, or if he makes a heck of a play like that, I can kind of tip in, whether it hits my body or goes right in, or lays there for somebody coming down. I just think it's a good play instead of just, I guess, traditionally, when I first got in the league, everybody would just stand in front of the goalie. You got to be creative and find ways.
Did you invent that, or did someone teach that to you?
I think just playing with guys that I play with, like Connor and Leon and Nuge and Boosh, like on the power play, they're able to make plays that I guess traditionally you don't think are really possible. So instead of just standing there, I would just try to get open, and we talked to Connor about it a lot, and those guys, and hey, where do you want me? And that's found success there, but kind of expanding it too. Like, I think a lot of teams take it away now, where they just have a D standing there. So it's got to be creative all the time.
Zach, another big night for Stuart Skinner. Some really key saves when it was a tight game.
Yeah, phenomenal. Just so solid the whole way through, and like you said, really tight game. Obviously, penalty kill. He's our best penalty killer out there, right? He's the one who's the last line of defense, and he's a big reason penalty kill is where it's at. So on that front, phenomenal, and then just steady, bunch of rushes. I thought it was an up and down game for a good portion of it, where they got some chances off the rush, and he was just steady.
So 2-on-1 with Connor, he was trying to get you the hat trick. Were you saying after?
I don't know. I don't know if he knew that I had 2 at that point. So, he tried to make a good play, and it doesn't work out every time.
Your team has had 2 significant streaks here under Chris. We've talked to him about how he just seems to hate to change a winning lineup. He just keeps rolling the same guys out, and I guess as players in a team, you maybe appreciate that it's like he stays with the winning lineup.
Yeah, I think it's been nice to get consistency. Like, I think we've, as a line, played together here for quite a bit and found some success. And I think the more you play with the guys, the more you're able to kind of build off of that chemistry. And I think throughout the lineup, we've seen guys have chemistry together now. And if you're winning, no sense in changing it, right? So I think, and I think it's how you win. I think it's the process. I think we've been winning the right way too. Like, I don't think we're cheating the game in any way. So. I think we're finding chemistry with our D pairs, with our lines. So it's been really good, obviously.
All right, yeah, really good understatement there from Zach Hyman, or as Smith TM14 put it in the nasty chat, Zach Attack. He's been excellent. Another monster year so far from Zach Hyman. The hat trick tonight. He's got goals number 23, 24, and 25 on the season. A couple of them coming on the power play. And then Evan Bouchard with 3 assists. McDavid picks up an assist. Nugent Hopkins also picks up an assist. And that is your scoring for the Edmonton Oilers on this night. You can keep the text coming in. 780-218-9999. And Cards texts in, says, did Hyman just solidify his all-star spot? Also, are they changing the format to just East versus West? Is it still 3-on-3? Cards, the all-star spot, I think he should be. I think he should be on the all-star team. The format is 3-on-3, but I think they're picking their teams from what I remember, and it's not East versus West. So if I remember that correctly, Trev, do you know for sure?
Yeah, they're doing the draft this year.
The draft, yeah. So that's coming back. I thought I had heard that.
Yeah, thank God, honestly. I loved the draft. The last time they did it, I believe it was 2013-14, and it was good. The guys look like they're having a lot of fun. It's nice to see, them. They hate each other on the ice, but I always find it interesting. They put that aside for the weekend, and they're just guys, having a good time. It's pretty cool to see. So lots of laughs, and I remember, like growing up, I was still so young, but Phil Kessel, when he was the last pick, that was humorous, right? So here's hoping there's a lot more of those, and I'm really looking forward to it. But Zach Hyman, for sure, it's crazy. He's like top 5 in scoring right now for goals in the whole NHL. 25, it's really impressive what he's been able to do. But he said it himself. He's playing with some really good teammates, but in his own right, he's doing this a lot on his own. There's been a few goals where he's just, I'm taking this to the net, and it's super encouraging to see. So he's not really just relying on, Connor and Leon. He's chipping in, for himself as well.
Humble there, Zach Hyman, but like Trev summed it up nicely, doing a great job this season. I think cards that he should be an all-star. Do we have any more audio to get to? Do we have Chris Knobloch yet?
We have Stuart Skinner, but no Knobloch yet.
Somebody I saw in the nasty chat said that Skinner was pretty good on postgame tonight.
Yeah, I saw that too. So
Let's find out.
Yeah, let's find out.
Fourth game, there's lots of quality chances that you had to face and that you guys shot on them. You like that game? Is it a little kind of keeps you on your toes for sure, I would think?
Yeah, it keeps you on your toes. I think we came out really strong, and then they had a pushback as every team normally does. So for me, it's just being able to stay ready, stay focused, and make sure that I'm doing my job when the time is needed.
So there were a couple of turnovers, and then you made big saves immediately after. I feel good as a goalie when buddy turns a puck over and you bail him out.
Yeah, it does feel good, just in the sense that that you're giving your team a chance to win, especially with the score. What the score was, I think it was 1-0 at the time, maybe 0-0. I'm not too sure, but every save that I'm able to make, it's always very important.
Stu, what are you seeing consistently in front of you right now that's allowed your team to build this momentum?
Yeah, I think just commitment to the details that we have, being able to listen to Knobber, listen to our structure. I think I'm obviously a goalie, so I look on my side of things, and seeing the way we've been playing on the PK. I say it almost every interview, but to be honest, like lately, it's we've had a solid. I'm not too sure how long, but it feels like a couple of months at least, just how much we're battling on the PK, which is able to win us games.
A few years ago, there was any contact on that reviewed goals?
I'd have to look back at it to really understand. They made a call, and to be honest, it is what it is. It's a tight game, so just being able to get the 2 points is the most important. Obviously, it's nice to get shutouts, but I'm not really here to do that. I'm just trying to win the game. So.
A few years ago, Mike Smith talked about when the Oilers had I think first and fifth in the save percentage amongst goalies in the league, that it was easy for him because it was very predictable where the shots. Do you feel that right now, where for the most part they're funneling the shots where you guys want them to come from?
Yeah, I think so. Especially on our PK, our guys are doing a good job at trying to make it predictable, which is it's key for everybody, because then it's predictable for our players too, being able to get the pucks out. So yeah, I would agree with that assessment for sure.
As competitors too, when you see the guy on the other end of the ice making a lot of big stuff for his club, what does that do for you? Does that kind of amp you up a little bit?
Absolutely. I got to beat the guy on the other end. Obviously in score, but you also want to play better than him as well. So it's always a competition. We high-fived a couple times in the second period because I was like, it was pretty incredible to watch some of the saves he was making, and I even told Calv that, and Calv made a joke about it. But I thought a ton of props to that guy. It could have been after the first period, it could have been 7-0 us. So props to how Forsberg came out and played.
What did you think when you saw CC go down there getting hit in the head?
It's never not good thoughts. You're pretty scared, especially when it's the head. It's that's the most important thing that we have, especially for a guy like him. Like we love him, we adore him in this locker room, and he's obviously an incredible player. But you just want to make sure that his well-being's okay. So. It's never fun seeing your guys fall. It's never fun seeing their guys fall when it's something to do with the head, so or anything for that matter. So it says a lot about a guy when he gets hit in the face, just right in the cheek, pure skin, and he comes back the next shift and he blocks about 4 more pucks. So that takes a lot of guts, and that's one of many reasons why we really love him here.
Everybody love everybody, says Stuart Skinner. The old Jackie Moon way of being, the mantra, if you will. ELE. We say it at Edmonton Sports Talk as well, right, Trev?
We say it a lot. I reference that movie anytime I can.
Great movie. Absolutely tremendous movie. You can get some texts in at 780-218-9999 and via the nasty chat. Hit the thumbs up button if you're watching on YouTube. We appreciate you for doing that. Let's get to the player of the game, brought to you by Damon Bunting Remax Elite. Damon Bunting, consistent, top producing realtor in Greater Edmonton and among Remax realtors. He and his team would love to help you find that right home or make the move from your current home. Community driven, understands what it makes or takes to make a difference in our city. Check him out, DamonBunting.com, or visit his Instagram, Damon Bunting Real Estate. YouTube, Trev, do your thing, brother.
Awesome. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
Yeah, so you know what? I'm just going to go just cut straight to the chase here. Zach Hyman, anytime you get, have a hat trick, you're gonna be the player of the game. This is now his third hat trick of the season, so he's had a hat trick of hat tricks, his fourth of his career, all with the Oilers, which is just so satisfying. We talked about it. We've talked about it, at length all season long. This guy, just what doesn't he do? Just such a good, versatile player. It's so encouraging to see. And honestly, like I still think every game that he's just looking better and better. Really, like the line is really clicking, but I swear every shift I see him out there, it just seems like he's doing a little bit more and he's picking up a little bit more confidence. It's super. It's fun to watch. It really is. He's my kind of player, and he is the Damon Bunting player of the game. Attaboy, Zach. Let's go.
Nicely done. Good job, YouTube. Trev nailed it on the Damon Bunting player of the game. Looking to get into the market or sell, go see Damon. Great guy. Big fan of EST, and we're a big fan of his. Do we have Chris Knobloch, or are we going to put that off? We only have a few minutes left here.
Yeah, no. Last time I checked, we don't, and we still don't. So that's unfortunate.
That's okay. We have a few minutes. We got texts that we can get to. A lot of them have been coming in. Let's go to the nasty chat first, and let's see what everyone's saying over there. Reaper in the nasty chat says, from last season, I still remember the 10th of January, 2023, when Vincent Desharnais joined. We now had a net front presence and battler. This season, the date I'll remember is the 6th of January, 2024, when the Oilers were back in the playoffs. Thank you, Reaper. Appreciate that. Fish Tank says, was that a conch at the start of Skinner postgame? Yeah, that was weird. That was a foreign sound that you don't really hear in the Oilers locker room unless they're big AM nasties, which they might be secretly. We know Bob Stauffer is, so I had a chance to see Bob tonight. Good to see him. I had a chance to catch up with Steve. I just said hi to Steve. Steve Staios was there. Michael Andlauer was there. That was interesting, Trev. Andlauer being there, the owner. They're not always there with the team.
Yeah, that is real interesting. Steve Staios was actually one of my favorite Oilers growing up. So that's really cool that you got
really nice guy.
Yeah, it seems like just a beauty.
He was a guest on Hello Hockey, and it was great to see him and nice for him to come and say hi. And he's a busy man, very popular in the press box tonight, I would say, too. Busy press box, which is always a great, good vibes in the building, too, I would say, in general, on a cold night as winter has kind of settled in a little bit. Finally, here in Edmonton. Okay, let's go to a couple more in the nasty chat. James says Hyman brings to the Oilers a lot of what they are lacking still, lunch pail attitude. James, I cannot disagree with you on that one. They do. I don't think you can ever have enough of the lunch pail attitude. You need high-end skill, and you need that high-end skill to work its butt off for things to be successful. But, Connor Brown was supposed to be that same, type of player as Zach Hyman light. It's just not there, obviously, right now. And you heard Ben Scrivens talking about it and the mentality of it and how you're fighting with yourself. And we call it gripping the stick. It just hasn't happened, unfortunately. But Brown's working through it, and maybe he gets one, and maybe that gets him going, and it breaks the dam, and all of that anguish and weight that's just sitting on his shoulders from not being able to get one goes away, and he can just go out there and play and start to chip away at earning that $4 million he's getting this year. The Elk Islander via the nasty chat says, the best part of a Hyman goal or hat trick is seeing the quote tweeting screenshots of editor in Leafs tweet from 2022 that the Hyman contract with the Oilers is worst in the NHL. X-Ray J, hey, good job, X-Ray J. Appreciate it. Says, over 200 viewers on YouTube, only 47 likes. Let's get that to 100 plus. YouTube, let's get it going. Let's go, X-Ray J. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. And then let's go into the inbox now, 780-218-9999. I have a bunch here that I haven't read yet. I want to get to this one from JB. Says, hat tricks are for kids. Fiction authors, JB. Nicely done. Atif says, good evening. Just got home from the game. I just want to say Zach Hyman is smoking hot. The Oilers are smoking hot, says Atif. And the 6 o'clocker lager is smoking hot. Hard to find, Atif. And an update for those that have been enjoying the 6 o'clocker lager. Potts in Fort Sask has it on tap. The Shamrock Curling Club has it on tap. Summit Bar and Restaurant at the Silent Ice Center in Nisku now has it on tap. And I believe Mr. Mike's also has it on tap. And we had Scott Laurie on the Nielsen show yesterday morning for Sobeys Safeway Liquor Beer of the Week. And he says around the 14th and 15th is when the next shipment of 6 o'clocker lager goes out. They did that third tank, and Cam and the crew at Alley Cat say that it's going to be a permanent fixture. It's crushable beer. So Atif, thanks for the plug on the 6 o'clocker lager. It's damn good stuff. Let's go to Kenworth Kelly. He says, hey, Tommy, enjoying a double Captain Morgan on this cold and windy night on Cape Breton Island. Oilers got the 2 points tonight despite showing signs of some rust, and we will take that anytime. And orange and blue heart there from Kenworth Kelly out on Cape Breton Island. Oh, it's got to be late out there, Kenworth Kelly. Thanks for staying up and sticking with us. Appreciate that very, very much. And then Eden chimes in, says, Oilers playing some grown-up hockey. Sens kept them at bay for much of the night, but the Oilers just kept playing their game. Hey, Trev, if I said to you that it seemed like at times the Oilers were reluctant to shoot the puck, especially in the first two periods, what would you say to that?
Yeah, I think that was very true. I thought they were very passive tonight. And I think that's kind of a thing you see when they play the lesser teams. They try to make it a little too fancy, and they don't just get the puck on net, So that's what I'd like to see. But it goes to what I said earlier with Connor Brown, like open in the slot, man, and he just fire it. It's just. And you know what? It was another stat I saw. 44 shots he has on the season. 44 shots.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that was in the first period. I think he had 2 shots in the game. So 46 now and nothing to show for it.
Nothing.
Come on. So, yeah, I don't know. I'd like to see them shoot a little bit more. But, I mean, ultimately, they did win. So we take it.
Yes, absolutely. 2 points is 2 points. Edmonton in wild card spot number 2 in the Western Conference as we roll into Sunday. To everybody tuning in still, thank you. Everybody listening still, thank you. A couple more minutes here. So if you want to get a text in, fire away, 780-218-9999. Nasty chat going strong. James says, Connor Brown should have signed an AHL contract, got his game back with 10 to 15 games in Bakersfield, then signed an NHL deal with the Oilers. Hindsight, of course, being 2020. James, I get you. But yeah, the hindsight part is the important one there. Taylor from Indiana, who wanted Trev on camera, so ask and we shall deliver, says, I need to come to Edmonton to try that lager. Well, it is damn good beer. That's for sure. Spency 5 cents, he says, another big game from Skinner. It's good to see compared to early season, 100%. Spency 5 cents, VR Montenegro with a 6 o'clocker lager update says there's still some in Sherwood Park, Y, and Clover Bar Sobeys. So get at it if you happen to be rolling through the park, and I hope that we sell those out, but more is on the way. Spency 5 cents, he also says, I'd like to see Draisaitl not give the puck away so much. Blind turnaround pass to the slot that got picked off twice. Spency 5 cents, I'm with you. I won't lie. I'm with you. All right, a couple more in the inbox, and we'll get one final word from Trev, and we'll say goodnight. Jasmine says, YTT, I like your crew neck as well. Jazzy approved, but let's be honest, Senators, one of the boringest teams for a hockey night game. Yes, not the most thrilling, sexy game, but it's a Canadian team, and we support our Canadian teams, right? That's kind of how it is. And I think Sean Bell was saying today on Hello Hockey that he kind of cheers for them because he knows Michael Andlauer during his time playing for the Hamilton Bulldogs, who Andlauer owned, and then also because he likes Steve Sales. So there's a connection there for sure. Norman Combine also says, Steady Steve coached my middle boy one summer. Awesome road trips. I believe it. He seems like a guy that's really easy to get along with, even if he's a coach on your team. Professionally, he's great. And Norm, I am not surprised to hear that at all. Coach Mike with one late one says 18 and 93 were one of the PK pairs in previous seasons. To start the season, the Oilers went away from Hyman killing penalties. Any reason why? Was it so he's fresher for 5-on-5 and power plays? Coach Mike. Coach Mike, I would think that that's probably part of the strategy. Also, did you notice how during that 4-minute Kane high sticking penalty, the Oilers went with the same 3 pairs of forwards to kill off the entire 4 minutes. And then the very next shift, the guys that were not on the PK and in the bottom 6 got out there for a shift. So I think that's strategy from Chris Knobloch and Glenn Gulletson to make sure everybody's still engaged in the game and not sitting there getting cold and not moving their feet. So I think that is probably part of the strategy. And yeah, keep a guy fresh to get his offense going. And it's working for Zach Hyman. Absolutely. All right, a couple more here, and I think we're going to call it a night. Fergie's Prostate. Fergie, good evening, sir. Fergie's Prostate says, boys, you are all way too young to know who Snidely Whiplash is, but Google him. Trev's mustache is a dead ringer. Fergie's Prostate. Fergie's Prostate. Cheers to you, my friend. Great to hear from you, and thank you for joining us on the post-game show. Any other ones? You want to read a couple texts there, Trev, in the nasty chat before we say goodnight?
No, I just had to look up Snidely Whiplash.
And?
Oh, I don't know. I prefer Stuart Skinner way over that. That's for sure. Yeah, that kind of hurts. But it hurts because I kind of see it. I think that's why it hurts. But no, that's funny. Solid night tonight. It was good. The nasty chat was just buzzing. So we really appreciate that. We look forward to a very good game. Well, it might be a good game. Time will tell when the Oilers decide to play the banged up Chicago Blackhawks on Tuesday. So we'll look forward to that. Should be a decent one, but man, looking at the roster, Tommy, they're really banged up. Like they have like all their main guys are out right now. So yeah. So it'll be interesting to see how that one turns out. But yeah, solid night tonight. Oilers got another dub, back in the playoff spot. So that's sleep well tonight, Oilers fans.
Oh, they will. They'll probably have a few social sparklers too. The night is relatively young. If you're out having a good time, be safe. Don't drink and drive. All that good stuff. The Oilers picking up their 7th straight victory, 7-3 in the last 10. I think that's a good time to hit that music, big boy. And as we get set to say goodnight, the Oilers now at 20-15-1. Good for 41 points. They're 45, or their next team ahead of them is at 45 points in the Nashville Predators. The Oil will look to close that gap Tuesday night when they take on the Chicago Blackhawks. That is a 6:30 p.m. start our time. We're on the air with the pregame show at 5. That's going to do it for the Oil Stream postgame show. For Ben Scrivens and YouTube Trev, I'm Tom Gazzola saying enjoy the rest of your weekend. We will talk to you on Monday and get ready for that Oilers game on Tuesday as they hit the road for 3 in a row. Ciao for now.